All right, guys, Kelly here. Welcome back to my mechanic. We have another electrical one. This one's on a 99 Protege. It's got a headlight problem. The low beam is in op. We're going to show you some schematics, basic testing, basic theory. So for those of you that are having a problem with electrical, this is a very simple system. Not much to it, okay? So stick around and enjoy. All right, guys, here we go. 99 Protege. Low beams are in op. High beams work okay. And when the low beams are in op, the high beam light on the instrument cluster lights up. Okay, so there's two systems. One with the daytime running lights, DRL, and one without, okay? We had a little bit of confusion there. It happens on certain Japanese vehicles, certain makes. Like for example, here they don't tell you what it does here. This is the daytime running module. It doesn't tell you what it does or anything like that, okay? This one, it doesn't give you what pin numbers they are. See that? No pin numbers. You know, certain manufacturers like Mazda, which this is what this is, a Mazda Protege, they don't give you very much information, okay? At first, we thought it might be this system. I wasn't going to go in the dash and go take a look and go look for modules, okay? So we went by the diagram. And as you can see here, the low beam, the right and the left low beams, they're different colors, red and white and red and black, okay? And on this one, they're the same color, okay? See that? So we went by this at first and, you know, thinking that this was it. But once we did the testing and we got the to the multifunction switch, which the headlight is in part of it, and the this is the headlight switch and then the dimmer switch, and obviously turn signals. The colors match exactly here. See, even though we don't have no pinouts, but we got the colors to match. And on this one, these colors are nowhere near what's on the steering column. Okay, on there. So we went ahead and we went to with this particular wiring diagram. Okay, now this is very simple. It's got a feed to it, to each one. We're going to be testing here at the left headlight. Okay, very simple. Power and ground is supplied by the switch, the dimmer switch. If this is energized here and it's feeding power to it, and this has no ground because it goes to ground, as you can see. Okay, depending on which you select, which circuit you select, one or two circuits for the dimmer switch. It's going to ground it out. That's what's going to, turn the device on. Okay, so we're going to have power. If either of these are open, you will see voltage all the way up to the open point. Okay, right? It doesn't matter whether it's high or low. It's open. You will see voltage. Okay, now if it's actually completed in the circuit, you'll see ground all the way up to. In this respective circuit, the low beam, and then the high beam also, if you got in my high beam, you'll see the ground all the way over here. So when it's working properly, you will see voltage up to this point, and you see ground up to this point, and the effect, the load is right here. Okay, that's where it's happening right here. Okay, now if you had a weak power circuit, you would see ground up here, or you would see a low voltage. You will not see, if it's got a weak contacts here on the relay, you'll see a weak voltage when the load is being requested. Okay, so, and vice versa the other way around too. Well, if you have a weak ground, you will see voltage, and depends on how weak the ground is, that's how much voltage you'll see at all the way till the point wherever is the bad connection. Okay, so now we're going to go here and we're going to check power, and since it's the low beam that's not working, we're going to check the low beam. I already checked the high beam. The high beam's okay, and you will see ground up to here and voltage up to here. But this is the circuit in question, okay? And since this one is working and this one is not, and pretty much this is where they split off here, I'm going to say that we have a good ground up to this point, okay? From this point on, where's the low beam? There we go. From this point on right here, this is where we're going to be checking, okay? So we're going to check here, see what we see, and then we're going to come back over here to this point. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to testing, and we're going to be at the left headlight and take a look. Okay, don't forget, always check the fuses first. before you do any electrical work. Make sure you're not chasing your tail around, okay? Alright guys, so we are 99 Protege. Low beams are in op. We're going to go ahead and back probe the left headlight, see what's going on there, because we know it's not a bulb because it intermittently works. So we have a power probe set up here. Very simple setup. Pretty much all it does is positive is, there you go, red light gives you voltage, and ground is going to give you 0 volts, and the green light's going to come on. See, there you go. Okay, very simple how it works. All right guys, we're at the left headlight here, and we went ahead and hooked up to the feed circuit, which is the red and blue one. All right, as you can see, there's 12 volts that are feeding it. Now we're going to the high beam circuit, okay, which is the red and green one. See, there's also voltage because it's not being activated. You should see ground there when it activates. And here's the low beam, okay. See, so there's nothing coming out of, nothing going to the headlight. It should have ground. Okay, you shouldn't see no voltage there. All right, as you can see, there's no ground. You see the voltage all the way up here, this wire. I'm not going to mess around with the wiring from this point to this point between. I'm just going to go straight to the multifunction switch, okay? I'm going to back probe these pins here, okay? This is a very simple circuit. It's a lot simpler than this one with the DRL, but it's still, you know, you have to have a little basic knowledge, common sense, pretty much, common knowledge, okay? So we're going to go ahead and go here and test, see what these look like, and this is where we're going next, okay? Because we know that since we have voltage all the way through it, this would be a middle point to see what's going on here, okay? All right, let's get to it. Okay, we're here at the steering column. We went ahead and accessed it so we can get to the turn signal, headlight switch, and also dimmer at the same time. It's all three, okay? Now, it's very easy to get to. All you have is a couple of covers. The lower one, which has, of course it wouldn't cooperate, 3 screws in it. 1, 2, 3, that's it. And they pretty much go into the column, okay? They don't go all the way through to the top cover. This is the top cover, okay? It just clips on. It's got clips here, there. That's all it does. It just clips on, okay? Now, before I started back probing, I did a wiggle test on it, okay? And I hope you can see this. This is still hooked up to the low beam headlight, okay? And we're gonna go ahead and do a wiggle test. I'm gonna pull with my finger the wiring harness, okay? That's the wiring harness there. See? So you see I dropped to 0? The headlights are actually working now, okay? As soon as I let it go or push it back, actually, see? So we have either a bad connection or a bad switch here, okay? We're going to check that out a little further in a second. Going to go ahead and back probe the connector. See what we see here. This is the black one, okay? This is the one that actually goes to ground, okay? Okay. Let's see if you can see it there. That flashing has got a ground under, so... And here, this one is going to be on the one that actually goes down to the headlights, okay? Headlights are working now. Let's see if we can get into this. Oh, there you go. And so it's happening, wiggling it. Obviously, there's a problem here. The connector looks overheated. Yeah, it does. Once we started taking this a little bit of insulation off so we can back probe it, it looks like right about there. It looks a little overheated right there. Okay, so see now it's showing ground because we messed with it, but it actually wasn't. We were doing wiggle test. It'll go away. Let's see if we can get it to do it. Let's see if we can get it to do it so we can see the voltage here. Now, as soon as it did, we're gonna go ahead and disconnect it. Looks like it's overheated, so that's probably what the problem is here. Let's see. Oh yeah, bingo. See that? Connector's overheated, so yeah, there's a big problem there. It's probably loose connections is usually why this happens. And I'm sure if we take a look inside there, hopefully we can see the pin all burnt. See if we can see it. I'm not sure. It should be this one right here. It's kind of hard to see. Okay, but you get the idea, right? So this doesn't just need the assembly, the turn signal, the multifunction switch. This actually needs a connector too. So, or else it's just gonna burn up whatever else you put on there. As you can see, we did a wiggle test on the harness here, and the headlight actually started working. You see that it was getting the voltage went from 12 volts to 0 volts. So there's definitely a bad connection here. And obviously we took it apart, took the connector off, and as you can see, we found that the pin was overheated, it was burnt. Okay, this particular pin. Okay, so obviously the connector needs to be replaced, and so does the multifunction switch. Now, if you only replace the multifunction switch, it's going to happen again. You get a bad connection and it just overheats. Okay. One of the reasons this can happen too is either the wiring, the connectors, they start having a loose connection, or very common, people go on, they change their headlights and they put those cool blue ones that people think they're so cool and shiny in their face and everything. But those actually draw more current, right? So this system is designed for a certain amount of current to flow through it when you have the recommended bulbs that's supposed to be on there. And if you don't, you put something that draws more current, you're going to be overheating the circuit. You might not blow the fuse, but eventually it's going to be drawing a lot more current than it should, and it's going to be overheating the wiring. One of the ways you can see if it's when the wiring is overheated is that usually the wires are pliable. They're not very soft, but they're still pliable. When they start getting stiff and hard, you know there's a problem. Something's overheating, okay? And that's usually the case up to, usually about maybe a half an inch to an inch. About half an inch probably off any connector. You'll see that the wiring looks hot, overburned, black, or it's very stiff. It's not pliable anymore. So you know that there's a problem there. You should take a look and inspect. All right. So obviously this vehicle is going to need a connector and a multifunction switch. As you guys can see, there's not much to the system. It's a very simple system. As I keep telling you guys, 3 wires, right? 3 wires. How hard could it be, right? 3 wires. So hopefully you understand this a little better. There's nothing hard about it. Very, very simple. I'll try to make more videos to simplify it even more if some of you have problems. If you're more advanced, I will make more videos that are more advanced as they come out. And thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. If it helped you out, that's awesome. I got to give a shout out to my friend Red again. Should I say our friend Red from SRT4SKN for supplying wiring diagrams and stuff. So shout out to Red. Awesome. And thank you for joining us here on our cave, our garage. Okay. So have a good one. Oh, one more thing, guys. I've made other electrical videos, so go check them out. Links are in the description and also up here.